Loki Season 2 in 5 minutes. Episode 1 story starts with Loki main problem of time skipping. This episode is basically introduction where Loki thinks he is in past but his mistakes of present were shown to him in past, where future is not well and everything is falling including TVA, which shows even if Kang was defeated, he still got lucky enough to destroy everything. Episode 2. This episode is all about build up of Loki with Sylvie, that if she's going to help him or not, which she's going to obviously. Episode 3. Episode 3 is carnival theme inspired. This episode is full of information, so I recommend watching it. It has many things. This is basically Loki and Mobius trying to get Jonathan Majors into their TVA and Sylvie throwing Ravonna Renslayer into staple of time, and staple is collapsing. In this episode, Sylvie was going to kill Victor, but he begged and she realized it's very emotional, and the episode ends. Episode 4. This is the best peak episode of Loki Season 2. So much happening. I recommend watching this episode. I can't cover it all, but I will what I can. In the start, we see Miss Minute with Renslayer together. Miss Minute talking about their connection with how she was a commander of his army, but he erased his memory. Temporal loop is at verge of collapse, but Loki, with help of Timely and DB, makes some type of multiplayer to fix temporal loop. Renslayer and Miss Minute make plan with Brad to control TVA. They kidnapped Timely, Prune, D19 and killed some of their men, but fortunately present Loki Prune, past Loki, OB deactivate Miss Minutes and reboot system, so now they can use magic in TVA. Temporal loop explodes and everyone was so frustrated and episode ends. This is the best episode because of ending. We see a lot of bootstrap and wheel paradoxes. They are so amazing. Episode 5. Loki survived the explosion, but his time skipping starts again, where he traveled to his friend's TVA branch timeline, where there are Morbius, B15, etc. etc. Where all of them resets their life and forgot everything. Loki can't even control his time slipping. OB proposed a plan to unite everyone, and with help of their temporal aura, they will get it there before explosion and fix everything. Loki united everyone. Sylvie first refused to help but then agreed, and Loki and finally control his time slipping and convey he can rewrite the story. He time traveled before explosion and episode ends. Tom Hiddleston emotional acting in this episode was peak. It will definitely make you cry. Episode 6 and last episode of Loki Season 2. Loki before temporal loom explosion time slips, and with all his effort can't undo things. He planned to meet He Who Remains for wisdom right before Sylvie killing him. Loki can save Loom by killing Sylvie, he explains, but he can't because he's in love with Sylvie. So he destroys Loom and with his magic gives power to timelines and unite them, where he finds his biggest weakness of always being alone. Lifetime where he finds himself ruling every timelines and being alone forever. TVA rebuilds itself, accepting all new branches and track all variants of He Who Remains, where he, Mobius, reports that Earth 616 adjacent drill 1 is still there. B15 becomes leader of new TVA. TVA new guidebook is written with Victor Timely. Mobius finally retires, where he observes Sylvie's son, where Loki is seeing them all in his throne. This episode shows us Price to become God, where Loki is overpowered but all alone and sacrificed everything and he is happy because he's done it for people. We saw Loki, who's powerful enough to kill Thanos in seconds, and in new season we might see someone comes to save Loki and Kang will come. This episode he has become time travel god and maybe most powerful person in MCU, and the season ends.